Oh, let's go.
Listen, congratulations.
Tyson Fury joining Jake Paul training camp and sparring with him has shocked everyone. Fury is in Jake Paul's corner, showing him tricks and strategies to try and beat Anthony Joshua this December. Anthony Joshua now faces a serious threat unlike anything before.
Whoever loses is pretty much fucked, I'd say, because they've had a lot to say. It's like me. When you speak a lot of shit, you got to back it up. And now it's time for the big boys to do it. Get it on! I'm really excited.
Carl Frosch is showing how strong Anthony Joshua is. He says Jake Paul has no experience or ranking. Joshua's calm and skillful approach makes this fight seem easy, and Tyson Fury helping Paul only makes the story more intense and interesting, nothing else.
And Anthony Joshua said, Jake or anyone can get this work, no mercy. I took some time out, I'm coming back with a mega show. It's a big opportunity for me, whether you like it or not. I'm here to do massive numbers, have big fights and break every record whilst keeping cool, calm and collected. So chill in it. I mean, come on, he's jumping in with fake Paul, who has no experience and no fights and no world ranking at heavyweight. Easy work.
Tyson Fury is backing Jake Paul to win, claiming Anthony Joshua is a spent force. He believes Paul is rising and even admires his new bulky look. This creates huge tension ahead of the December fight, making the sparring and preparation even more crucial.
Don't know about tune up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Anthony Joshua is calm and focused despite Tyson Fury backing Jake Paul. He isn't distracted by words or bets and shows confidence in his own ability. Joshua is ready to fight, collect his victory, and prove that no amount of hype or sparring tricks will stop him.
I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm gonna collect my check, cash it, and I'm gonna focus on the next.
Alexander Usyk is making it clear that Anthony Joshua is on another level. He praises Joshua's skill and Olympic pedigree while reminding everyone that Jake Paul is inexperienced. This fight is shaping up to show the massive gap between a professional heavyweight and a YouTube star.
Last fight, it's great because Anthony is Olympic champion, Francis Ngannou, it's second fight for boxing. Listen.
Gareth A. Davies highlights the massive difference in experience and skill. Anthony Joshua has faced top competition and survived long, tough fights. Facing Jake Paul seems surreal as Joshua's level far surpasses Paul, making the sparring sessions and hype all the more fascinating.
I completely agree with Ben. I mean, that's the biggest issue with the fights. You know, let's be fair. Jake Paul is an area level fighter, British area level fighter. That's where he's at as a cruiserweight. He's stepping in against a very big heavyweight who's a massive puncher. Just go back to the second fight with Alexander Usyk. Look how great Alexander Usyk has become. And you go back and look at some of the highlights of Joshua's attacks on Usyk and gave him a really...
Carl Frampton believes Anthony Joshua will dominate quickly. He is confident that Joshua's experience and skill will overwhelm Jake Paul, even if it takes more than a round. The story builds around Joshua as the unstoppable force in this highly anticipated clash.
Do you think it doesn't harm AJ?
I don't think it does harm.
Why?
I just think he goes and, if it's a real fight, he'd go and blow him away in a round. That's the end.
What if he doesn't do him in a round?
Tyson Fury frames the fight as a real challenge, calling it a 50-50ths matchup. This only adds pressure and hype, but Anthony Joshua's focus and professionalism make him the one to watch. Paul has hype, but Joshua has the skill and history to back it up.
Do you regret the Joshua fight not happening?
No, I don't. I don't regret anything. Life's too short for regrets.
What do you think of Jake Paul calling him out?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a real 50-50 fight.
Spencer Oliver warns of the danger for Jake Paul if he lasts longer than expected. Anthony Joshua's power and precision make every round risky. This fight tells a story of skill versus hype, where Joshua is fully prepared to end it decisively.
The worry for me would be that if Jake Paul would be able to get through a few rounds, and then you go, then it could be a danger to his health, because like there is, you know, ramifications from taking blows like that off Anthony Joshua. But I think the fight could be done quite quickly, and when you're talking about the dangers and death and all that, I don't see it like that, because I don't think that Jake Paul will be able to hang in.
Duke McKenzie highlights how focused Anthony Joshua is ahead of the big fight. Training with the music camp shows dedication, sharpening his skills, power, and speed. Every session builds on his technique, making him sharper and smarter in the ring. If this preparation pays off, Joshua could easily dominate Jake Paul and remind the world why he is a two-time world champion and Olympic gold medalist. His focus and discipline set the tone, proving he is not underestimating his opponent and that he plans to make a statement with every punch he throws.
We're training with the music camp now?
Yeah, he's training with the music camp.
If he's training with the music camp and there's a marked improvement on his performance, he could quite easily clean up again.
Listen,
Devin Haney makes it clear how intimidating Anthony Joshua is. Taking on Joshua is not a casual fight. He is a world-class fighter with unmatched experience. Jake Paul is stepping into a world he is not ready for, and it shows just how dangerous this matchup is. Joshua's precision, power, and composure in the ring make him a nightmare for someone like Jake Paul. Haney's surprise reflects what every fan and expert feels when seeing this fight announced. Joshua has proven himself countless times, and now Jake Paul will have to face the harsh reality of stepping up to a true heavyweight legend.
I was surprised that Jake took the fight rather than Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has fought the best fighters in the world. He's a solidified champion. But I'm surprised that Jake took the fight and is fighting a guy that's so dangerous like Anthony Joshua. So I got to take my hat off to him. Because we were saying that, he's fighting this person past their prime, this person's old and this and whatnot, and now he's fighting,
Eddie Hearn's words show the stark difference between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. Joshua is the powerhouse, and Hearn even admits it would be an easy night's work for him. Jake Paul is improving and dedicated, but he is nowhere near Joshua's level. The contrast is clear. Joshua is a seasoned heavyweight with Olympic gold and world titles, while Paul is still learning the craft. Hearn's description of Paul as crazy captures the reality that stepping in against Joshua is risky and dangerous. The fight will test Paul's courage and skill, but Joshua is on another level, ready to dominate.
Such an easy night's work, and it would be massive. And Jake's smart. Look, I know that we have our back and forth. Jake's improving as a fighter, and you have to respect the fact that he's dedicated not just to the business, but also to the hard graft of boxing. I still don't think he's particularly good, but he's a decent, some level.
Lawrence Okolie's words give a real sense of the danger Jake Paul faces. Joshua is a big, strong, world-class heavyweight, and stepping into the ring without full experience could be disastrous. Okolie wants to test Paul and show him what true heavyweight power feels like. It's a warning that this fight is not just entertainment, it's a real test. Joshua's dominance and strength will be the main challenge for Paul, and every sparring session, every hit shows the massive gap between a YouTuber fighter and a professional heavyweight champion ready to deliver punishing blows.
I think, hats off to both of them for getting very well paid. I do want to go in and work with Jake Paul in preparation for this fight and preparation for mine. It'll be good to, I need to know what he sees that makes him think this is a good idea. That's one I'm very difficult to know.
Duke McKenzie perfectly sums up the risk for Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua is a trained athlete, massive and experienced, while Paul is stepping up far beyond his comfort zone. He has not beaten top-level heavyweights, and this fight will expose him to the harsh reality of facing a true champion. Joshua's size, power, and skill make this extremely dangerous for Paul. Every punch he receives will be a test, and his lack of experience shows the challenge ahead. The contrast is dramatic, highlighting why Joshua is a seasoned world-class heavyweight and Paul is entering territory he has not earned yet.
I don't believe to fight Anthony Joshua. It's not like he's beaten 4 or 5 top-line heavyweights, other heavyweights. I don't believe he's boxed any heavyweights.
Johnny Nelson makes it clear how dominant Anthony Joshua is. Even if he has an off day, Joshua's skill and power should be enough to overcome Jake Paul. There is only a tiny chance of anything going wrong for Joshua, but that small 1% is the only suspense. Facing a domestic YouTuber like Jake Paul is no comparison. Joshua's experience, power, and strategy make him the overwhelming favorite. Paul will struggle to land meaningful shots and survive against such a seasoned champion. Nelson paints the fight as a one-sided test that will showcase Joshua's superiority in every round.
Now the problem's this: if Anthony Joshua doesn't turn up, even that Anthony Joshua doesn't turn up, should beat Jake Paul. And there's just that 1% that makes you think, could he? Could Anthony Joshua slip up here? Because it's a no-win situation for AJ. If he goes the distance, you struggle with a domestic fighter like Jake Paul. If he gets wobbled or get hurt, how could you let a domestic fighter, a YouTuber, do that?
Derek Chisora emphasizes that Anthony Joshua cannot let Jake Paul drag him into a long fight. Joshua has to finish this decisively, just like he did with Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. Any hesitation or prolonged rounds will invite criticism and question his dominance. Chisora makes it clear that Joshua's power and skill are too much for Paul to handle over multiple rounds. Paul may be flashy and confident, but Joshua's experience ensures he will control the fight. The comparison to Ngannou highlights Joshua's ability to end fights quickly, showcasing why he remains a world-class heavyweight despite any outside noise.
Yeah, so I told Anthony, I already messaged Anthony, I was like, listen, I tell you what, I said to AJ, if this goes past 5 rounds, everybody's gonna be having a go at you because you can't go past 5 rounds with this kid. He has to go past 1 round or 2 rounds. Past beyond 4 or 5 rounds, you know, people are gonna be doubting you as a fighter himself. So he has to smoke him out like what he did Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia in 1.
Johnny Nelson stresses the obvious gap in size and skill between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. The fight is about Joshua proving himself once again, and expectations are high. Fans are already anticipating Joshua to dominate and end the fight convincingly. Paul is stepping into the ring knowing he faces a much bigger and stronger opponent who can control the pace and dictate every round. Nelson's words highlight that the pressure is on Joshua to perform, and that Paul is just along for the ride. The battle is set to showcase why Joshua remains a dominant force in heavyweight boxing.
Anthony Joshua is bigger than Jake Paul in our world. So there'll be more of a judgment on Anthony Joshua than there will be on Jake Paul, because Anthony Joshua is expected to get this boy blasted out of it.
Carl Froch explains why this fight heavily favors Anthony Joshua. Even if he isn't at his peak, Joshua's skill, timing, and 1-2 combinations are more than enough to dominate Jake Paul. Paul lacks true boxing fundamentals and has already been exposed by fighters like Tommy Fury. Froch makes it clear that Paul's flashy confidence will not survive the precision and power Joshua brings. The fight is almost a foregone conclusion if Joshua is focused, and Paul will struggle to land anything meaningful. This 1-round assessment underlines the mismatch and Joshua's continued dominance in heavyweight boxing.
What should happen? This is a 1-round job, because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury, for crying out loud.
Spencer Oliver warns that Jake Paul is facing a massive challenge in Anthony Joshua. The memory of Joshua dismantling Francis Ngannou in just a few rounds shows the sheer power and skill he brings. Paul may have experience in boxing and white-collar fights, but stepping up to a world-class heavyweight like Joshua is another level entirely. His previous loss to Tommy Fury proves he struggles against real boxers. Joshua's precision, strength, and tactical mastery make him the overwhelming favorite. Paul is about to experience the reality of facing a seasoned champion who has proven he can handle even the toughest opponents.
God help Jake Paul, that's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white-collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury.
The build-up to the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight is unlike anything the boxing world has seen in years. Anthony Joshua enters as the experienced Olympic champion and seasoned heavyweight, bringing power, skill, and tactical intelligence that Jake Jake Paul simply cannot match. Paul may have celebrity hype and social media bravado, but he has never faced a true world-class heavyweight in his career. If Joshua wins, it will reinforce his dominance and remind everyone why he remains one of the sport's elite fighters, leaving no doubts about his skill and preparation. However, if Jake Paul shocks the world with an upset, it would be one of the most shocking moments in boxing history, catapulting him into global fame overnight. Mentally, Joshua seems stronger, calm, and focused, while Paul relies on confidence and hype. Fans, who do you think will rise victorious in December? Let us know in the comments and join the debate on who will truly control the ring.